Doesn't the world have enough? Are we not done yet? Like, genuinely, who allowed this? Hi guys, welcome back to a page in the chapter, or welcome if you are new here. My name is Paige. I read some books, I have some rather unintelligent thoughts about them, and then I share them on this channel for you guys to listen to and probably disagree with. Today we're going to be talking about some books that I am leaving in 2020. Now this is not necessarily books that I hate, this is just books that I read this year or came out this year that I just a no. Like, I'm not reading them again, I'm not taking them out of this year. I read them this year and they're staying this year. They're just staying in 2020 and these are my reasons for that. So if you enjoy the concept of this video, then do hit that big red subscribe button and make sure you stay up to date on all of my other content and check out some of my other videos that I have posted. If you also want to go that tiny step further, you can also leave a little comment down below. We can have a little chat about some books. It's kind of why I have this channel in the first place. I'm feeling rather weird today, in case you could not tell. I don't remember what else is supposed to go in an intro. So let's get into the books that I am leaving in 2020. The first book that I'm leaving in 2020 is Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik. This book just really did not capture my attention and I don't want to reread it. I think I ended up giving this a 1 star. I know so many people love this, but it just wasn't for me. Very strong female characters, so if you're into that you may like this, but the plot just completely left me behind. I don't know if I'm just too dumb for it, but either way, why would I take a book that completely lost me from the first page into 2021? We want to leave this negativity behind. The next book is a slightly odd choice because I did give this a 4 stars, and that is Wilder Girls by Rory Powers. This book was good. You know, it was unlike anything else I'd ever read, it was interesting, it held my attention, but I just don't feel the need to reread it or take it out of 2020, you know? Like, I thought this would be a book that was so different and I would rave about and it would just be like the best thing to ever happen to me, and it just wasn't really that. Nothing wrong with this book per se, I just don't want to reread it. I also feel like it's probably going to stay with me because it's, you know, kind of about a virus and I read it in 2020. So I'm kind of living it. I don't necessarily need to revisit it at any other time. The next book on this list is one that I do actually detest, and so you're not going to be surprised when I mention this at all, and that is Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyer. Again, I won't get into this because I have whole videos dedicated to why I hate this book and I think it's trash, and I genuinely cannot believe that it was allowed to be published. It's so sexist. There are so many race representation issues. Like, genuinely, who allowed this? I just absolutely detested being inside Edward's head. I thought it was a very misogynistic view of the world. I thought that he completely tore down every single female character in the entire universe, and so, no. I didn't even finish it this year, let alone picking it up again in another year. Another odd choice for the next one, because I gave it 5 stars, and that is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. This was a fantastic book. Honestly, one of the best books that I've read. It was just so dark that I don't think I could read it again. It is the epitome of dark academia. It is about these very rich classic students who, whilst attempting to like further their knowledge and become one with the Greek life, take it too far, and it's about the trouble that they get into, and I absolutely loved it. But I did have to keep reminding myself that what was happening in the book wasn't actually happening to me. I was getting myself so stressed and worked up because of this book, and on the one hand that is a sign of a very good book because I was just that invested and that brought into the world, but I just don't think I can go through it again. It was genuinely one of the most stressful things ever. So yeah, I just don't think I could give myself that stress ever again. So as much as I love The Secret History, I think once was enough. To continue with the surprise choices, because I gave them 5 stars, My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. I absolutely love this book. Again, such a surprise read for me this year. Not what I would normally read at all. Picked it up for one of the very first videos on this channel and absolutely loved it. However, kind of like The Secret History, it was just so dark and I felt it really affecting my mood even when I wasn't reading it. It's also just the kind of book that really does stay with you. I haven't forgotten a single thing that happened in this book. It was just all so dark and strange that I'll never forget it. So I just kind of want to leave this in 2020. It was a dark read for a dark year. I don't really want to put myself through the stress of reading it again. However, the fact that I was so invested and stressed is a sign of how great the writing is. The next thing to leave in 2020 is a bit of a controversial choice. And this is a book and a TV show, and that is The Queen's Gambit. I haven't read the book, so this is kind of a cheap one to throw in. However, I will not be reading the book. I watched the series this year, as did most of the universe, and I was very obsessed with it and very, very into it when I was watching it. But now that I've stopped watching it, I kind of don't get the hype anymore. It was very, very dark academia vibes, and it did them flawlessly, and whilst you're watching it, you get very, very invested into the show. And again, sign of a great show. But then you stop watching it and you're like, okay, but what actually happened? It's very, very character driven rather than plot driven, and I'm not sure I really like that in a TV show. So yeah, even though I can't really judge the book off the TV show, I won't be reading the book because I just feel like Queen's Gambit is a 2020 obsession and I don't want to bring it forward, and I won't be reading it by the end of the year. So big X on this one, big cross off the list. Not gonna happen, get it away. And the last book on this list is Tweet Cute by Emma Lord. So many people love this book and I don't get it. What did you read that I didn't? I gave this a 2-star, and looking back it deserved a 1-star. The characters were just so infuriating, and Emma Lord just completely scapegoats. There were things that happened that really should have caused drama or at least some kind of reaction that didn't. I don't get it. What did you read? Please explain to me what it is that you read that I didn't. So I probably should have known that I would hate this from the fact that it's a Romeo and Juliet retelling. Doesn't the world have enough? Are we not done yet? It's a Romeo and Juliet retelling where the main character's parents own rival grilled cheese stores and they get into a Twitter war and just blah 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 blah. I hated it. It was awful, and so won't be coming with me. I also know that Emma Lord next year has another book coming out. Won't be reading that either. This book ruined Emma Lord for me. I really just probably won't ever be picking up her books again. So this book and this author are staying in 2020. They will never ever be in future years for me. I'm done. This was it. I'm out. Just like whilst we're on this vein, these other kind of contemporaries. Apparently I only like contemporaries when Morgan Matson writes them. Verona Comics was decent. I really enjoyed the mental health and the LGBTQ+ rep in this. I thought this did that beautifully. But plot-wise, again, just another Romeo and Juliet retelling. These came out at exactly the same time and have exactly the same plot. How was this allowed to happen? This was just trash. I couldn't even get through this one. I had really high hopes for this because it's kind of a university setting, and we all know how much I love a university setting. It's about these two kids and they end up on the same college campus tour, except one is absolutely desperate to get away from home and one just wants to stay very close to home and is only going on this tour as a favour to his mum, and they have very opposite worldviews and blah 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 blah. I just hated it. Something about it did not click with me, did not bring me into their lives. I just thought both of them were very irritating characters and I didn't understand either of their worldviews. Just like all three of these need to stay in 2020, I won't be reading these types of books anymore. It's gonna have to be Morgan Matson for me or nothing, because these were just not it. Well, Verona Comics I feel mean including in this list because I did actually enjoy it and I would recommend it. These I would not recommend. This I would, but not enough to reread it. It's still staying in 2020. It's not coming forward with me at all. Thank you guys very much for watching this video, especially if you made it this far. This is a much shorter video today, but there's just not many books that I won't be rereading. I've had a very solid reading year and I found a lot of new favourites this year, so hence the shorter video, but I thought this was a really interesting one to make, so I do hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy it, then you may as well hit the big red subscribe button on the screen now. That would be a nice thing to do, and then you can see some of my other content and listen to other books that I actually like and enjoy talking about. So, you know, you can check out some of my other videos, subscribe, and let me know what you think. If you absolutely adore some of these books, and I know some of you do, then I'm very sorry, it's just my opinion, but I just don't want to reread these. I think that they kind of encompass this year and should stay in this year. However, if you have any thoughts at all, let me know. I would be really interested to hear them. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on Christmas Day, because Friday is Christmas, which is just absolutely mind-blowing. So I will see you then. Bye guys.